青や強がって飛び乗って風に流って青空昨日を越えろ
Hey everybody, welcome to Talking MONS. It's our Digimon Adventure 2020 recap podcast back again. Today we are talking about episode 47 and 48. Sorry. My name is JD, and I am joined by Jeanette and Gary.
Hello.
Hey y'all.
We're going to be talking about, like I said, episodes 47, The Villains of the Wastelands, and 48, The Attack of Mugen Dramon, or Machine Dramon if you're an American like me. So we got a mixed bag of it this week because we've got one that is
Abysmal.
well, I was going to say we've got one that is just very filler and one that is very plot related. So we'll just go ahead and jump into 47, The Villains of the Wasteland, which is our filler episode for this week.
You know when I said Joe appearing in the episode would make it 10 out of 10?
Yeah.
It turns out it's not true.
Well, Joe isn't in half of this episode. He's just the driving force of the episode.
He was the
Yeah.
MacGuffin.
Yeah. Joe and Gomamon are just the MacGuffins for this episode. They're not in it a lot.
That's fair.
So basically, this episode is about Tai and Augmon trying to rescue Joe and Gomamon after Joe and Gomamon went off on their own to find a watering hole, ended up getting kidnapped by two rival factions, and now Tai and Gomamon or Tai and Augmon have to like split up to go get them.
Which, why? I mean, they weren't that far off from.
Yeah,
victory.
I don't know, but
It's Digimon Mad Max edition.
more kinda, yeah. Well, Agumon goes off to find Gomamon, but they meet this scarecrow dude, which may just be actually the crow is the actual Digimon, and the scarecrow is just the thing he sits on and controls. I don't know how it works.
It feels like that way.
Named Nohemon, I think is how you pronounce it. But yeah, he's like a crow and a scarecrow, and he has a bow and arrow. But he tells Tai, like, "Hey, you don't have superpowers like your lizard friend here. I'm gonna go with you so you don't die," which would probably what would happen.
Yep. And apparently he's like the guardian of the watering hole or something.
He's guardian of the water hole, which there was. Okay, so it turned their watering. What was their watering thing before it turned into a water fountain?
It was just a well, like an
Oh, that's
old-fashioned
right.
well.
Yeah, they had like an actual water well, and for some reason, because real world shenanigans, it morphed into like a standard like human drinking fountain. And then these two rival factions, you've got it's kind of funny because they keep the bosses of the two factions in shadow pretty much the whole time. You're like, okay, why are they doing that? But the reveal is actually pretty funny.
Mhm.
Before we get too deep into this one, just want to kind of get your guys' general thoughts on this.
You go ahead,
Whoever-
Gary.
Well, it's very pointless, but it's also. Okay, unlike a lot of other filler episodes, it's not as funny. I mean, there are funny moments, but it's just not as funny. Like, I like how Argamon just stroll in and just pass through the guard about sneaking.
just
Like,
fucking
I'm
walks
walking
in.
through.
No, that was actually pretty funny. Agumon just goes up to the base, to the gang base, and he's like, "I'm going in," and the guards like just don't pay him any mind. It takes him a couple seconds, like, "Hey, wait a minute."
Yeah, that was great. I did not like this episode.
That's the lesson, kids. If you have to do something that you're not supposed to, just do it with confidence.
Yeah, if you're everywhere, anywhere you're not supposed to be, just act like you're supposed to be there. No one will really pay you any attention.
And don't have a suspicious face.
Don't look suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Anyway, go on, Gary.
Oh no, that's more or less it. I mean, Goemon was pretty chill while he was captured.
Right?
Mm-hmm. He was trying to mimic Joe. That was actually kind of cute.
Yeah. He was asking if do I sound like Joe?
And like, there's no way his kidnappers would have any idea who Joe is, really.
Who? What is this Joe? Jeanette, so what did you think?
I thought it was pretty mediocre.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true, honest truth.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in your guys' camp. Like, there are some funny moments of this, but I feel like this is one of the most forgettable episodes in the series so far.
I think I watched it like 2 hours ago, and I think I've forgotten most of it already.
Yeah.
Same.
This is just like the definition of a filler episode.
And like not good filler. This is the filler that marks like if every episode is like this, it's a bad anime. It's boring and not fun.
This is we had to kill time before a really serious episode.
Yeah, and I don't even get like a lot. Like it didn't really make much sense, and I don't know. It just wasn't good.
Yeah, it was really weird that like, oh, Joe and Goemon. I mean, I could see Joe and Goemon getting kidnapped. That's fine. But the fact that they left on their own to go check out this watering hole, and then got kidnapped, and Tai, it's just weird because like Tai like wakes up in the middle of the night to find that he's gone, and then he, figures out that he's missing, and so him and Agumon have to go on this weird night mission before everyone even wakes up or even has any idea what's going on.
Mm-hmm. It's like,
really
gotta go be the leader, gotta go save Joe who got kidnapped in the middle of the night. Diddly do.
Right.
And also, like, I didn't get the significance, like, maybe I just don't understand, but I didn't get the significance of Tai, like, using the bow and then Scarecrowmon using the bow and, like
yeah.
I think it just didn't, it felt bad.
Yeah. Gary, were you trying to say something?
Wait, what did I say? Oh yeah, I just said Kari kind of noticed, but she fell back asleep.
Yeah, because she's 6 and she needs her sleep.
Yeah, she's got the holy Digimon. She's got to save the world. She can't worry about Joe.
That's true. Right. Yeah, this is just a filler episode, guys. Honestly, if you skip this one, you're not going to be missing much. It has no bearing on the plot. The only way I could see this being relevant is if Nohemon joins the resistance force that we'll talk about here in a little bit. That's literally the only reason I can see this being relevant, but
agreed.
I don't know. That's about all I got for this one. I know that was kind of brief. You guys got anything else?
Let's move on to the good shit.
Yeah. Right. Let's talk about some groovy stuff like tie-dyeing.
Jeremy Snow here, owner and editor-in-chief of The Geekly Grind. I'm interrupting your awesome, regularly scheduled programming to ensure that you know about our Geekly Grind podcast network, of which this show is a treasured member of. If you haven't had a chance to check out our site, you can do so at www.thegeeklygrind.com, and while you're there, check out the other members of our steadily growing podcast family, including the anime-centric Blake and Spencer Get Jumped, discovering new heroes and comic book keepers with Chris and Lance, exploring the vast universe of geekdom with Geeksploration, or of course appreciating animation's finer details with the Ink and Paint Club. Escape your weekly grind at The Geekly Grind.
Okay, so let's talk about...
joke, I'm sorry.
That's fine. Let's talk about episode 48, The Attack of Digimon.
There's a lot to unpack here.
There's a lot to unpack here. So the kids are traveling across the wastelands again, and Izzy gets a message from Leomon on his laptop, and like, okay, cool. So all these like little groups of Digimon the kids have been coming across, like Bergamon and all the Woodmon and all that stuff. So and the giant castle turtle. So Leomon and all of those groups of Digimon are now living on the giant castle turtle. Lopmon's also there with them. They just came across her, and so they joined up with them.
My partner Digimon, I'm gonna appear in the show soon.
Yeah. So Leomon's resistance force is growing. So that's a thing now.
I'm sad because that rest stop had to close. They were probably good burgers and fries.
Yeah.
And they made a bit really focused on the burger one and the potato one being in the resistance. It's like, what about the rest stop? And then the car wash Digimon is there too.
Yeah.
Like, just close the whole thing down.
Right? Yeah. So like all these little one-off episode characters, they're all just like together now. They're all hanging out.
Well,
I
look
think
at the
it's
bright
so
side.
my theory is so when the continent is destroyed, all the friends that we made along the way won't die. They'll be
Yeah.
safe by being in the castle. That's my
Right.
theory.
Yeah.
On the bright side, with the rest stop closing, that's mean the resistance will have good food.
That's true.
Yeah.
Bergamont's gonna cook for everybody. So yeah, we get this, and we kind of get the repercussions of Sephirothmon from last week gathering all this battle data because he pours it into the crystal Millenniumon. And oh boy, kids, Millenniumon is kind of half revived right now. He decided that out of all the battle data that he had he'd been fed, he decided the ultimate life form was Machine Dramon.
Mm-hmm.
That thing that Agumon evolved into for half a second, like 20 episodes ago.
Oh, you're right. I didn't even remember that.
Yeah, remember when like Agumon had his bad mega evolution? He turned into like a red Machine Dramon.
Yeah, vaguely.
Yeah, that's before he became War Greymon.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he turns into Machine Dramon, and there's just like a really kind of badass fight with everybody just trying to beat the shit out of this thing, and it just like not giving a fuck.
Yeah.
And Machine Dramon was also focusing its most powerful attack on the floating sky continent.
Oh yeah, that's
For some
another thing.
reason.
Remember that big cloud continent that we started the show on? Yeah, that comes back.
Mm-hmm.
So just like this episode is kind of like the culmination of like all of these little things that have been happening throughout the series, just kind of coming back all at once. And I honestly think this is like the start of the end.
I think so too.
Yeah, because
Also,
like, sorry, go ahead.
I got a question. Is the cloud continent trying to squish into the other continent like a ice cream sandwich?
It kind of looks like that. It looks like he's descending onto the earth.
Mhm.
I don't know what Machine Dramon is trying to accomplish by shooting at it. He keeps shooting at the mountains that are pointing down from the sky, but yeah,
And-
I don't know what he's trying to do there.
An explanation would be kind of nice because it's not immediately obvious. Come on, Izzy. Get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. So yeah, we get a big, nice fight with everyone in their ultimate forms, trying to fight Machine Dramon. That ended up doesn't working, so Tai and Matt get their guys to evolve into their mega forms. So War Greymon, Metal Gurumon are teaming up for the first time. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we get to a point where it's so desperate that Angelomon uses up all our powers to give all our holy powers to Metal Greymon. War Greymon. And War Greymon and Ty's basically just like, hey everybody, get out of here. I'm gonna end this myself. And you just get to watch for like 2 minutes, watch War Greymon just dismantle Machine Dramon, just like pull him apart piece by piece.
One of the best fight scenes so far, because he also got dismantled piece by piece during the fight.
Yeah, you see his shield gets broken. He loses one of his arm pieces for a bit. Which I'm not gonna lie. When you saw like War Greymon's bare fist and he was like charging up to run back at Machine Dramon, I thought he was just gonna punch him in the face.
He got stabbed in the chest before one of those things happened.
That's true. Fucking Machine Dramon just like shoots his little claw hand out and he like stabs War Greymon in the chest and he's like, nah, I'm fine. Oh man. But yeah, so kind of where we're left at the end of this episode is that yeah, after War Greymon dismantles Machine Dramon, Machine Dramon like activates like a final desperation mode and like rockets his torso with Metal Greymon, or I keep saying Metal Greymon, War Greymon, on his back up into the bottom of the cloud continent, and just like a fucking planet-side explosion just goes off. And And so we don't even know if Ty's alive right now.
If it wasn't on screen, there's no way he's dead. Is my take.
Like Tai has protagonist powers, so he's not gonna die. But you knew this was gonna happen when he basically tells everyone's like, okay, go on without me, I'm gonna end this myself. And he's like, I promise I'm coming back. And I'm like, Tai, don't make promises you don't know you can't keep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
I will say, if they kill
yeah.
off Tai, I will admit that is like ballsy as fuck.
I'm about to say
I don't
that'd be a
think they
bold
will,
move.
but yeah. You know, you're a protagonist. It's been the icon of the series for how many years? Bam.
Also, that'd be child murder. And I know, like, Japan's more lax with some stuff, but like, I don't know. Ty's gonna go into like a weird other world for a while.
Yeah, I think he's gonna come back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna laugh if he got blasted. The blast was so powerful that he got blasted back in the real world.
He's either gonna be blasted back to the real world or blasted back in time somehow.
Yeah.
Back in the dial-up era.
He goes back to the 90s and meets the like gets blasted back into the old show.
Yes. Yes.
What's a Myotismon? Well, so I guess just overall, what did you guys think about this one?
It was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I like the gut punch ending, and there's going to be a gut punch episode after it, and I'll probably cry a bunch.
Yeah, like I said before, one of the best fight scene so far, especially just the one-on-one choreography. It's not like just more and more generic attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one thing that I did not expect was that the Sephiroth form, the Sephirothmon's true form is literally that little, not the weird complex symbol of all the things connected together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you've seen Sephirothmon or Shikakumon, whatever region you want to name him after, yeah, he's like a big, like interconnected series of balls, that are like the fucking world tree realms.
Something biblical.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, man. That part of Digimon Frontier was weird. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, I'm with you guys. I really like this episode, especially compared to the last episode. I just loved pretty much as soon as Machinedramon fight shows up, like that. The fight after that is just great because I love getting to see all of the Digimon actually fight together in a big group this time. You got pretty much everyone powers up to whatever their most powerful form is at this point. So you get to see both the angels and their most powered up forms. And yeah, just kind of like you said, Jeanette, that gut punch ending of like, you know, Tai and War Greymon like beat the shit out of Machinedramon, but Machinedramon is just like has one less desperation move and like tries to take him out, and we're just kind of it like the big explosion goes off and it cuts to black, and that's it.
Yeah,
well, it's not even Machinedramon. It's all those gray alien dudes who initiate that last thing.
Yeah, so the Vadamon, who are like those big brain-headed aliens who have been trying to resurrect Millenniumon. Yeah, they're the ones who activate the final desperation thing in him. Which I think we're finally going to see them out of the shadows next week, but we'll see.
that'll be
I think I
cool.
saw them a little bit in the preview.
Yeah, I think that will happen next time.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. Like I think we're getting into the end game of what this show's going to be about. So, I'm interested to see what they're going to do.
It's very 90s, by the way, to have like some silly fun filler, and that just ain't 90s anime to have some silly fun filler and then just go into this like dark and serious. I love it.
No, yeah. Between the episode before this where Angemon was fighting his demons and this episode where Tai might be dead, it's very on brand to have a silly episode in the middle of it just to kind of give you a breather.
Mhm.
In all seriousness, I think that Tai and Argumon is gonna somehow meet some very powerful Digimon after they got blasted.
Maybe.
Like it's some like divine intervention kind of thing with like some ancient Digimon who's gonna give them some power to return to the main group with.
That'd be cool.
Oh, yeah. I hadn't really thought about that, but yeah, that's an interesting theory. Yeah, I also liked this episode that we kind of, because I've honestly, I think we've talked about it on the show. I kind of feel like the show has been meandering a little bit. But I like that they showed in this episode that like, okay, all these little one-off episodes that you think have just been kind of random episodes, you at least get to see the characters. They're all kind of joining together. So like they're building their own little army of like all these characters we've seen before. So at least that kind of makes it seem like, this has been for a purpose. I could see basically the end of this being like, okay, Leomon's resistant force is going to join up with all the kids and they're going to have like a big Digimon army to go fight Millennium Mon, I guess.
They'll be like the old days. How many years ago? The old Holy War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it kind of harkens back to the old show too, because, later in the first season, you got like all these Digimon that they had met up with kind of come back and help them. Like when it's like Frigimon and Andromon, and like all those. I think even Ogremon kind of comes back as like a begrudging good guy. If I remember right. So yeah, like you just having all these characters that we've spent time with a little bit. They're kind of coming back in a different context, and I'm interested to see what Leomon's really been up to because we haven't seen him in a while. So I'm kind of like, what has this resistance force been doing other than just gathering up all these guys and reconstituting the giant castle turtle? So
the castle turtle is okay. I'm really glad.
Yeah, he seems to be doing fine because apparently the castle regenerates itself.
Yeah.
Because they're like, there's a castle growing on its back.
He's thriving.
Like, yeah, he just does that.
It's part of the show.
Yeah, it's part of his thing. The Digimon, also, don't question it.
I find it interesting that I'm more upset over the Digimon that died in the one-off Angel-Woman episode than I am about Tai. I think my priorities are misplaced.
Well,
I mean, Tai is coming back, so
yeah, it's fine. Well, that's about all I've got. Anything else you guys want to mention?
Nope.
Just excited for the next episode.
Yeah. Shit is about to go down. I would assume next week. So we'll be back after the next 2 episodes to talk about those. Should be a good time. Hopefully Tai is not actually dead. We will see. We'll post your Tai is dead theories in the comments on our various social medias. But yeah, I think that's about all we've got for this time. I hope everyone out there is staying safe, and we'll catch you all again in the next episode.
Bye, y'all.